I'm Margaret Leng. I'm here today to work with you on any aspect of music you'd like to discuss. And if you all tell me who you are.
Hi, Paul Jordan Thompson.
Are you a composition?
Yeah, I'm a composition student.
Yes, who's your teacher?
Herb Deutsch.
Sorry?
Herb Deutsch.
Okay. And?
I'm Michael Tesco. I'm a jazz and commercial student, so for piano performance, but I compose on the side.
Good. Compose and improvise?
And improvise.
And improvise. Right.
Hi, I'm Naveen Lockman. I'm a music education major. I'm a voice concentration here.
And
I'm Sam. I'm also music composition with Paul. I study with Hofstra. I
Excellent.
also play percussion.
Yeah.
So I'm doing
by the way, do we have any video facilities here right now?
Not right now. We don't have video for this room.
Oh, okay, because I thought if you did, I could show them some things on
Yeah, I could choose the grand piano or like again a good sound system. Or
yeah, okay, this is fine. We'll do without, because if we did, I was going to use it as well. Right, so why don't we start then, Paul, by you playing your piece for us?
Okay, actually Mike's gonna play it, that's why I brought him.
Oh, okay.
I can't play with the piece stuff. I gotta learn to.
You need the music?
I'll take you brought coffee. It's further.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I gave a bunch.
You can hold on to that. There's a bunch of.
Wait, I left them all there. Or over here. Yes. Did I give away your original? Yeah, my
Doesn't matter.
As long as you can still read your marks.
Okay, chair for you. You like you see the blue chair
Oh,
up here,
it doesn't really matter.
wherever you get like a better sound from.
Yeah, I'll sit here for now. Okay. Did you just write this, or is it?
No. I didn't just write it, but it definitely, this is an older edit, because I only had his copy and I just copied it. So there's some, just notational differences, but it's basically the same.
This was in your style.
Yes.
So it was premiered.
Already? Did you play it?
Yeah, I haven't played it on this piano yet, but I did play it as we said.
Good. All right, let's hear it then. I like this piece. I like it, and you did a good job. You know,
That's a great
now,
job.
there's something like this. I just spent the whole session between talking with you, notational things,
Oh, yeah.
and dealing with you on how to make the projects even
Yeah.
better. So let me just proportion my time better. Is anybody else planning to play today? Okay, so you have your own piece, right, that you're going to play?
No, I was playing the Astro one.
Fine of us.
Oh, yeah, good, because I play Havana's too. Yeah, yeah, in fact, I recorded his music. Okay, so in that case, we will allow an hour for each.
Yeah.
Because that's perfect.
I'll keep you on time, don't worry.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect, because then I can really go in depth with both of you. Right, I like this. You know, first of all, one thing, do you intend to spell sympathetic this way, or is it? Is that intentional?
No, that's not.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I thought it was intentional when I saw
That's
I should have
not
said it
the
was
name.
intentional.
That's not the name of it anyways, right?
I know, I changed it completely. This was.
What's the new title?
I just called it Echoes in the end.
Echoes, that's better.
Yeah.
That's echoes. This is a little too academic.
Yeah, I know.
Stuff.
It's kind of like a joke. It's kind of like a joke. Actually, my
Echoes.
orthography.
Yeah, echoes is nice. Very good. Okay, now maybe I'll just say what comes to mind. Okay. First of all, when you write contemporary music and you're dealing with sort of unconventional approaches to the instrument, you have to be very clear in your notation,
Yeah.
and there is no standardized, you know,
Yeah,
symbols for everything. Every composer invents his own. And do you know the music of George Crumb?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sorry.
Sorry?
I
You love rock?
played I work with Mr.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, I love George Crumb's music. I play his music, and I'm also personally very close to George Crumb. And I'm in touch with him a great deal. Yeah, so it's wonderful that you play his music too. Okay, now he has very clear forwards at the front of his music so that he can put all his symbols and explain very clearly what they are. And his notation has become pretty standardized. And he also likes to use this technique of sympathetic resonances where you hold down the notes and you play against it. And he does it also, I don't know, the middle pedal works on this piano.
I think the pedal should work, yeah.
The middle one.
The middle one should work.
Wobbly, so.
Wow, it's so low. I'm used to singing high. See, he'll do things like depress. I don't know if this piano works, you know, because half the time the middle pedals are not that well regulated.
Yeah.
And to play George Crumb's music, you really have to make sure that the piano has the middle pedal working properly in tip-top condition, because it really requires the use of that middle pedal. When you press the notes with it, and then you are free to do whatever. You see, there the resonances come up, but it gives you freedom to do everything else if you want to. This way you're restricted to one hand. But you know, if you want to use, if you want to use, say the very complicated word, you've already learned it. But if you want to use two hands to do some of that stuff, you free yourself up. And every time, the more you play, this will always keep. I'm amazed this Yamaha is working properly. Because half the time the notes will stick in the other parts. You know, they're not supposed to, but you never know. See, it's not sticking. Sometimes even with Steinways, they stick, and they have to like tell the technician to really adjust to make sure it's working properly. All right, so that's one thing I wanted to suggest to you. You can use the middle pedal and free yourself up. And, you know, it's yeah. What is that pedal called? This is the damper. This is what I call it. This is the sustaining pedal. Yeah. Okay. So also your notation is not clear.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's work out how to.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make it clear, because you're not always going to be around with this piece. You become famous, or something goes out in the world, you have a publisher. It's all going to be clear, because you don't want other people to misunderstand your intentions. All right. So do you just play this? This is played, right? Okay. And then what's held down? Okay. And then what's this?
That's just supposed to symbolize just lay your arm down across whatever.
But, okay, so you pedal this,
Yeah.
and then you hold it, and then you do this
Yeah.
silently.
Yeah. I should put these.
Wait a minute. Then you release. Is that right? And then,
You actually don't release.
or you don't
it
release
here.
it, yeah. Oh, okay, all right. So you need to say pedal. You should put here arm cluster
Okay.
and silently depress the keys. You should write all that in, okay? And then all this is that's all played, right? And all this accumulates. And then what happens here? Does the pedal come off or not?
Yeah, the pedal does come.
Which one? The right pedal, right?
Yeah. I'm not using the substituted pedal.
Right. So,
Yeah, but it's a.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay, but this is held down, okay?
Yeah.
Now, the way George kind of standardized it for himself, and I think other people often use it too. He designates this as pedal 1, pedal 2.
Okay.
No, wait, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. You just make it always say pedal 1, una corda is pedal. Since you're not using una corda, then say pedal 2 is the middle pedal. All right. So you should write that in the introduction. At the beginning, pedal 1 is the regular damper pedal. Pedal 2 is the sostenido pedal. Okay. And then here you should put pedal 1, and you don't even have to. You depress the key silently, and then add pedal 2.
Okay.
You should just
So
write
I
pedal.
don't even need these notes at all. I can just write.
No, you need to write down the notes you want depressed. You know, you have to be very clear with that. So that's what, and this is a perfect fit, at least for my armature. All right, and then you need to write here pedal 2. Okay, and then you indicate both pedals are held down to here. Then pedal 1 you put off at that point. You need to put the sign that pedal 1 is off. You see, you draw the line all the way, pedal 1 comes off here, pedal 2 remains.
Okay, but it's only the first pedal that I use this whole time. It's just the arm kind of substituting for the other pedal and holding it down. It stays down.
Oh, I see. It stays down throughout the piece, right?
Yeah. Which could be very uncomfortable. Is it uncomfortable for you?
You know, I would suggest you use a middle pedal. That you do. Press this down. No, one thing you have to understand, the middle pedal will only, see, I've already got the right pedal on, okay? If I press which is okay, yeah, because it's within that range, okay? Because it's within this range, the middle pedal will catch everything that's within that range, of here to here. Oh, it's to here, okay. Yeah, all right, so you go. And then press the middle pedal, okay. And then you hold the pedal, and when you get to this part, you get why it doesn't work.
Well, this pedal.
Is the pedal held all through there? The regular pedal?
Yeah. And then it releases. Yeah, see. It's a problem. If you push down if you push down the key, it will like move down.
Right. I know what the problem is. It's because you've already got this on this pedal, and when you do this, it's catching the entire keyboard.
Yeah.
It won't work. Because once the right pedal is depressed, and then you press the middle pedal, it's going to catch everything.
So in a way, this lets the arm, like it helps the arm, or it helps the R&B.
The middle pedal won't work for you in this piece
Yeah.
unless you do something else. Just unless you do this. And then now, see what I did? And now this is super. Because I did this, as Harold did. Okay? I went to this. I released this
Yeah.
and put this one down at that point after I released this. So now it will only catch this.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can do everything you want, but there's no, and then from there on
There
you
wouldn't
can,
be a sustain.
but you can add the sustain. You see? See? But you have to know when to put it down. Okay, so you do this, all right? Let's write it down. Let's go. Pedal with the right pedal. Pedal one. Okay, pedal. Then you want to write this? Sorry. Do you have a pencil, anybody? Never do anything in ink.
I know, I should.
Never do anything in ink. Mr.
Failure
Stravinsky said
of music student.
the most useful end of the pencil is the eraser. That's what Stravinsky said.
This is not an eraser, but.
The most useful end of the
I
pencil
can
is
try
the
to
eraser.
find.
Okay, so pedal one, okay? So you do this. Pedal. This is pedal one. Then depress this, all right? And then once you've depressed it, your pedal comes off here. Okay? Your pedal, after you've depressed it, your pedal comes off here. And then you put your pedal comes off, and then you put down your pedal two. Okay? So you go, pedal, so that it frees you up to do this. And then change feet. Yeah, like, like driving a car, change feet. Cool. And then here, you want the pedal, so put the foot, then now you're free to put it on again. So on and so forth, and then when you get to here, so you want it to come off?
Yep.
Okay, off. So you put your foot. So this stays, you put sempre, okay? Piano 2 is sempre. And then here, off is pedal 1, okay? And at that point, I would also release the arm so that it makes you free to play.
Yeah.
Okay? So here you can say left arm release. All
You
right?
can even release an arm before that, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can release it. But it's sort of nice to play like this. And because there's something organic about doing it comes off together. So you know that is physically you come off together. It feels nice. So arm off, pedal off.
Right.
But this one stays glued.
Yeah.
This one stays glued throughout the piece. And then you put this down. Up to use two hands if you want to do some of these patterns.
Yeah, that's cool.
See? And does that, okay, now the next page, where's it? This is okay. So you've done all this stuff and then you get to here, at the end you get to here. Now does this still stay the pedal? Does this stay throughout?
Yes.
Okay, so you put sempre, till the very end. And then this is with pedal, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, well, why do you need the pedal?
That's true.
You get, but it just gives it a little more richness.
Yeah.
So now this means here you want it changed or off.
Well, the way I thought of it was like, you would put everything down together and then release like this.
Show me.
Release, release. Release, release.
Okay. And then, because this is off,
Yeah.
right?
Which will actually change the sound, but then I kind of like just the pedal coming down that sound.
You know what I would do is more organic.
Just release with the finger.
Yeah, but also do it this way, watch me. Pedal, so that the hand, let me say something, the hand and the feet, for me, work synergistically together. Once I worked out the pedal, it becomes part of my whole choreography with the hands. If you take away my pedal, I get a bit discombobulated because everything's built into one entity of how you move. So I would go, see, press, down, up. And voice this one. So you hear, so then you hear this and then it melts into the,
Yeah.
like see. You hear it like a, it's like a sighing. And if you do it with the body gestures, it just, it doesn't mean anything, but if you go, it's almost like somebody weeping, there's a sighing-ness about it, okay? And then whatever it is, this is next one, the same thing. And then this one. You hear that? I think that's very beautiful. The whole thing takes on like more than just mechanically doing it.
Yeah.
You see? Whatever sometimes composers write things, but they don't realize how much they put into it. Beyond just the notes.
Yeah.
And a good interpreter will bring all that things out. And composers say to me, God, I never heard that in my own music. But it was there to begin with, otherwise what am I bringing out? If it's not already there. I'm just telling him what's in his unconscious and he just wasn't aware. But he obviously had it there. Otherwise what am I doing, right?
I think that's like a really interesting point that you're interpreting, because the score isn't necessarily the music, you're taking the interpretation of it for yourself.
No, I'm using the score as a blueprint.
It's a blueprint, yeah.
For me, because, for me, who's my best teacher? My best teacher is the score. Because a good composer will have everything in that score, and it's up to me to be able to ferret it out. And it may take me a little bit of time, and that's why you go back to a piece over and over and you see more and more things in it. But it's all there. So the score is my teacher. I really feel that very strongly. Okay? So this, I would do these as, I wouldn't make these as eighth notes, but quarter notes.
Okay.
So that the release of this,
Everything together.
yeah, so these are quarter notes, okay? Right. So you do that, all the way. Then this is nice here when you get here. Look, you get, then you got added more notes.
And we actually do these to be 4 to make it easier.
What? 1,
2, 3. Yeah.
now here I would do, no, 1. I would do this. The pedal comes off here, right? Don't re-pedal, just off. This is pedal 1, okay? The left one. Just do them like that, okay? Then here, look. But you see, if you have 2 hands, use the other hand crossover and make them.
Right, you can do that now.
Yeah, that's right. and make them. Don't just play them. I mean, play them like they have some meaning for you.
Right.
And I think this is a dramatic passage.
Yeah, I guess I just heard it
No, I should take my foot off, sorry. Okay, so I would pedal off, catch that up. Okay? So pedal off, pedal on again when you do that. Okay? To catch the top and this is left on.
Do you want the larger one?
Oh, it doesn't matter. So this is left on, okay? And then you would pedal off and put the pedal on again to catch that, okay? And then change here, off again, and then pedal on, and so on and so forth, okay? So that takes care of all that. And then you have, okay. So, no, I'm not doing it right. Yeah.
B flat.
Okay. And now it's a trill, right?
Yeah.
Okay, watch. Is that the right note? No. Which F is it? This one.
Yeah, that way.
So go. And so on and so forth. Yeah? So you go, and then hit it. And as you hit it, Okay. So just hold the pedal. So after you put your foot on here, just hold it through. Okay? This is pedal one. You hold it through. I will use two hands here. It's so dramatic. You know. Do it too, it's I mean, why bother when you've got two hands to make that kind of sound? It's very dramatic. You make these sweeps and then see it starts here, you give two, and then this one goes on and it builds up momentum wise to the end, which is here. So this F, is it? Don't now why are you changing the pedal here?
Because I wanted like all these notes to ring together and then
Oh, by itself, okay.
lift up
Okay.
with that.
You don't even have to put the pedal back on because you have this. Take the foot off, just take it off, and this one will hold it. And you've got that, okay? So I'm just gonna put it off, okay? Like that. And then you can put it down again if you want. You can put your foot down because your hand has to move and you want to keep the sound. So put your hand. So and then put it down again. And then what is this? Just a cluster, right?
Yeah, but not to lower that. So start.
Is it
Yeah, start
like
at
that?
that C. Yep. But it's actually supposed to be hit that time.
Oh.
So it's actually supposed to be like in tempo. So just like
Yeah.
1, 2, blank.
Okay. Okay. So you hold the pedal through, okay? Slam. And then what is this? Just play?
I think
And what about your
I think you would lift up the middle pedal actually.
Now wait a minute, now what is this pause? This sounds like dramatic.
Yeah, it's just supposed to let it ring.
Do you want it ringing? No. See, I will let it ring on what is generated there. And then, and this is because it's part of this, you just ring it as notes.
I think you would actually do the opposite of this here.
Yes, wait, and then what about these three at the end?
Because these have to be staccato, but they need the dampers on these notes to be lifted.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
harmonize
So I didn't
itself.
quite get it right. Okay, so I got it. Do it like that. Is that right?
Yeah, but take more time in between.
Okay, so then I would, after one you've had this class, I lost it now. Then you dial and then hold this, okay? And when you play this, release everything on both feet. And it will stay. Okay? So what did I do? I held it through that. And then both feet came off here. Both pedals off, okay? All right, both pedals off there. So this is when you've had this down. Then you go. You want this ringing, right? And then you want these. Are these supposed to be staccato?
Yeah, very staccato.
Just that's all you want at the end. It's just that,
Yeah.
right?
But with more space in between.
Right. Okay, but this is the resonance that
Yeah,
you want.
exactly.
Okay. Got it. Then you go. Yeah, I'm just thinking something. Do you want that? Because
That could be
you
cool.
could do that. Wait. Then depress it silently. Re-depress it silently. Then release this. Okay? Yeah, why don't you do that? It's better. So, what did I do? I went up to the top, then I played this, and then I released it off.
Yeah.
You see that now I'm on the eraser. I went off,
There's one over there.
and then depress chord again, right?
Okay.
Depress chord again, silently. Right. And then when you depress it again, okay, I did, so I have all this down on this pedal. I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. No, I did that. And then I depressed it silently, and then when I played this, that was off. Right. And then you have that, and then. Yeah, that's good. That behind it. I think that works. Okay.
Very cool.
So depress chord silently to end, hold to end. Okay. And then the left hand does that. But it's nice to get that. I think.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's
That was
right.
really cool thing.
Yeah, and then you can always depress it silently, and you can put the rhythm that you want or ad lib or whatever you want at this point to give the performer.
Yeah.
You know, some. Okay. So now we've dealt with the composition. Let's deal with playing. Your turn now.
Okay.
All right, so you play this time, and I'll give you some tips on how to make. Isn't that a good piece? What do you think? Don't you all think it's a good piece? I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great.
You know, it really has very interesting effects, and it's dramatic, and I think it could be really a nice addition to your repertoire.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's.
So try with all these.
Yeah, sort it out. I mean, sort your hands and your feet out, you know. Take your time because it's.
I've got to, yeah, I remember everything.
Oh, you do? All right,
I
then.
tried it.
I don't remember. He does. Okay.
I've got to try it. So.
Okay, try it. Just figure it out for me.
I can try it.
What to do to coordinate.
You get the gear switching thing?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's like driving a car with the pedals on
I
the
like that
car.
analogy, so you can.
I thought it was a lower octave. You know,
No, he got it. It was just not as loud as.
no, I meant this chord. It's up that high.
You want down here?
He's just got a long arm.
Listen, make it the lower you go, the more resonance you're gonna get. Don't make it this high. Just put here 8 VA, 8 bassa.
Okay.
You know, because the more you use the lower end, the more you're gonna get. So I'm just gonna put here 8 bassa.
Okay.
All right, that's good. Press. Take your foot off. Right foot. No, wait a minute. Hang on. You got your feet mixed up.
The middle one goes on, right? Because it says
Yeah.
second one next.
Right, but you know, you put your both feet down, work your 2 feet, rather than trying to do 1 foot.
Okay.
Start again.
Okay.
Play the chord. Put on the right level. Then depress. And then yeah, but you gotta switch. No, wait.
Oh, you want me just doing with 1 foot?
No, 2 feet. The timing of how you switch is very important, otherwise you're gonna catch a whole lot of stuff you don't want.
Okay.
You know, okay, so the thing is, this has to come off first before you put on the middle pedal.
Right.
You have to clean it, clear it.
Do you want me doing with just 1 foot or with
No,
both?
no.
2 feet, right?
2 feet,
Okay.
2 feet. Because later on you might use the right foot for some accentuate. You need the right foot later.
Yeah, right.
So make sure you use your left foot there. Okay? Go all the way to the bottom. Now take your right, press down and then release your right foot. Release your right foot
Let's do this.
and then press the left foot down.
Right.
Good, got it. And then play. Now then put your right foot on again.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Okay, now, that's very good. Now, let's do it with more magic, okay? So you have this. You know, I don't do things so mechanically. Can you come down here? Look what I'm doing.
Yes.
I peel my foot off the pedal, and then I press this down. I don't know, you know, if you peel your foot off, the sound releases differently. And you press it. Okay, so.
release your arm down there too.
Right.
Yeah, and then the arm comes off,
Yeah.
Oh, right, you
Then
want it
you go-
coming off this.
and then you go on,
Okay,
okay?
all right, yep.
So play that opening like a real introduction, something that's going to be mysterious that's going to happen. You start with a strong chord, announcing like the trumpets. Right foot off, and then you press the left. Right. And then put the right pedal on again when you start. That's it. Lean on the first beat.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yeah, you got
Yeah, keep the left foot on.
Yeah, right, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, you want to try it again?
yeah.
So weird doing this one.
We'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Go all the way to the bottom of the piano.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah, see how the sound peels up? Okay, but if you do that, you don't go out for a coffee break at that time. You don't come back. No, you've got to make it very dramatic. You know, you've had all this. Just sit back. You know, but you just did this and then go into it. But you know, if you release the tension, you've lost your audience.
Okay,
All right, keep the tension and then launch into that.
okay.
Okay? Right. Okay. I want to be able to hear that throughout because I lost it. I want to hear that, you know, because you got to voice it. That makes sense. You see what I mean? I want to hear that hammer and nail to the wall. Go all the way through. I lost it. All right? Now, try once more.
Well, before I was playing it like this.
like free hand.
That's fine, no, it's fine, it's fine, I like this kind of concept. Good, keep going. Now this is stabs. No, your tempo. Oh, now it's a faster tempo.
Yeah,
Right.
fast.
Okay. So, yep, make them very sharp like stabs. Then you want the contrast between this very nice lyrical section that you did, and then this is just like completely changed. Okay. That's it. give you a fingerprint here though.
I thought it was notated as this, so can I do
Yeah,
it?
sure.
I thought it was
It is.
so too.
No. Okay.
So actually, yeah, this is what.
Okay, that's fine. But you're much better off with 2, 3, 4.
Oh, fingerprint. Okay.
This is great.
Yeah,
This
that's
is jagged
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I would suggest 2, 3, 4. Okay?
Okay.
That's all I want to point out.
Okay.
And this was very nice. You did this sort of free and improvisatory, and then this very nice sharp steps. I'd like to hear more of these.
Yeah. Now that the left hand.
Why don't I just let the left hand go over and do that for you? Because you got it. It's very dramatic.
Yeah,
to
right.
see somebody, you know. So I would say left hand.
Left hand. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you get to this part, now. Use 2 hands on those, because then you get the Masterclass effect.
Okay.
Yeah. You could use it. Work it out yourself, but you know,
Yeah,
just
right.
use 2 hands, divide it up. You get much more the effect you want when you have to work less hard. Yeah, you see? That's it, okay, good. Go on. Okay, then you're gonna get all that pressed down again. But isn't it nice to have a left hand free to be able to do what you want?
Yeah, that's great.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go on. You know, yeah, I would. Every time that motif comes used to, because it should be like an interruption.
Okay.
You agree?
Yeah.
All right. So here again, use 2 hands. All right, I'll just put 2 hands.
Right.
And here also 2 hands. So that this comes out like really strong interruptions.
Okay.
Go on. You don't need, just don't ever take your foot off the pedal.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
So you don't go back to square one, you
Okay.
have to set up. Why do you mark these with every time? You want those to stand out.
So, you know, yeah, well, I was thinking to contrast them with the really punchy. If you could make them like more legato, I guess. Probably legato would be a better way to describe it. But just contrast with the
Like
punchy.
more staccato? No.
No, those are fine. Then play these legato, you know. I would take all of these in the left hand. Then you can get a much
I'll do
easier
those in the left.
legato. Then, yeah, then it really makes a dialogue. I would make these legato and use a left hand. Okay. 4, 3, 2, left hand. You see, so it really speaks that. So every two toes are all in the left hand.
Okay.
You go home and work it out. You know what
Yeah.
to do. Because you know, I'm asking you to do it all at once. And then here, together. And then here, this is all one hand, I guess. At 41, it's all one hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then at the end, again, you start here again. Yeah.
Okay.
Now get out of your way. No. Shape it. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Okay? So when, just get yourself out of the way.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Do that last step for me here.
Going to the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
second?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strong. Really play them out. That's it. That's it. Right here. Whatever it is.
Yeah,
you
I
figure
have
it out.
to work
Okay?
Yeah, I was gonna work that out when I
No,
How did you
How did I
go
do?
about that?
You release them both simultaneously.
Oh,
so both
so
the
this is
finger
all
and
down.
Yeah.
Oh, I did this. That's what I did, right? I took the foot off, but I had to look. Did I hold my hand down? I can't remember what did I do.
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Huh? What
Yeah,
did I
so
do?
exactly what you just did, but just a little later on the left.
Okay.
So,
Okay. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah, I made this into a quarter note.
Right.
So these are quarter notes now, okay?
Oh, right.
The inner notes are now. That's why I took off the stem. They're
and
quarter
we actually
notes.
lengthened
Yes.
these chords.
Yeah,
These are actually
quarter
also
note.
quarter notes.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and. I like this coming out from the end like you have.
Okay.
Because because it comes off after the foot. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Something about the and creates that lift.
Yeah.
If you did it on the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. There's something about the and gives it a little push. So I would leave it like that. Okay?
Maybe I'll play around using
Yeah.
both different ones.
Okay, so. Okay, I'll go to the last page, just start from here in. And I will do this piano. It's like weeping. Piano. Very good. Nice. Now, if you do something else, it will sound even better. Except you're doing it very well, but just add one more motion. Swoop it. Feel the difference in the sound? There's something about doing that. No, use your wrist. Let it come around. Right? As you play, it's like a golf swing. Let it go. That's it. That's it. That's it. Feels good, huh?
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah. And this one.
Yeah.
Use your left hand.
right?
No, this is 3, 4. Don't make them violent, make them gentle. And pedal this so that you can sustain. So it's 1, 2, the pedal on for me. You know, just catch the pedal on after you play it and play it like this, like bell tones. Okay? That's it. No, your rhythm's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Oh, you want I thought we were doing it on 4.
Yeah, we switched it to 4.
Oh, sorry.
But now that your left hand's free,
No, I would do it.
on 3 it works better. Because the reason we switched it is for his, so we didn't have to like leap it.
Right, let me do it for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's 1. So catch it with the pedal.
Okay.
So that, they ring. Play them, release them, but catch it with the foot before you release, and then pedal. You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then change it. Yeah, but play these with intent. Don't just play them. Play them like you intend something. Basis.
Yes. A lot going on.
You know what I do? I just take a pedal wedge and I wedge the pedals and I don't keep redoing it. You can, just stick the pedal wedge. Yeah, there's this little, that's it. That's it. Now make it more bell-like. Let me do it, Lisa. Catch the pedal for me. Whatever it is. See?
Yeah.
So they ring. Okay, you do it yourself now. And these go against scoop them. Yeah, that's it. Pedal. Scoop it this way and then with intent. That's it. That's it. That's it. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't rush it. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, let it go. Let it go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, just make it all connected. And I want to hear all these rests, you know.
Yeah.
Once you start doing this, don't shortchange that rest, okay? That's it. Pedal for me. Thank you. In other words, your foot, if you're going to pedal it, you do this, but then you have to change again here because of the knee.
Yeah, right.
Right, so that's why you have to.
It's like just lifting up.
Right. And then it's. Yeah, that's it. Just make this a start. Just go. Once you go, you go.
Okay.
No, don't just play and then add, but play it as a start. That's it. Can you do it again without a break? That's it. Right. And then you crescendo on the. You do this one on the left hand.
Oh, okay.
Because you know, you want it to go into it without break. Left hand. So this is right and left. Okay? Okay. And then this becomes left and then you can go back to the right hand.
Make sure to lift the pedal before you hit the intro.
That's it. And then this comes in left hand. Right. And the pedal here, you can just hold it through.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then. Right. Okay. Now, this is all a lot of work. You know what I would suggest? You've got your left hand free now. I think so, you know. So you've done all this, right? So you start. And then when you get here, I will go. Whatever this. Yeah, just use 2 hands. And then forward. And then here, left, right, left. So that, you know, each hand does the 6. And then here, the left hand starts. It'll be much more virtuosic.
Yeah.
All right? So you start.
Swansea, we're at 540 right now.
Perfect, because we're just finishing the very end of the piece. So this is right. This is left, okay? And this is right again. And then this is left, right, left, right, left, oops, left, right, left. You just take the last note.
Okay.
Take it
Yeah.
with your left hand, then you get a really strong, and this is left. Okay, now we've come to the other. So you figure out fingering, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to
well,
do that.
yeah, yeah.
But it's really easy when you do it. Because it's basically 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3. So you've got this down. We're just finishing the very last part, okay? So you've got this down. So you got, and then this has a pedal, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Left pedal, that one.
and then
Pedal of the head.
hit off the pedal with that.
Left.
Okay, and then put it back down, right? Okay, and then you know what to do.
Yeah.
It's all written in there. You figure it out. You can show him what to do. You can show him what to do. Yeah. So we got to do a. Okay, and then hit this, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then put the pedal on again. Is that right? No, then depress it again. That's what it was. Depress it again. And then put your pedal on again, right? And then both pedals off here. That's right. Right? Okay, done. You gotta, if you
I'm
have
not
any
even sure
problems
if you
with
need to
it,
put the pedal back on again, but you
Oh.
definitely need to depress again.
yes, right. You don't need to put the pedal back
Yeah,
on.
right.
You just
So-
need to release
so-
the left pedal.
Yeah, so you don't need both pedals off.
Okay.
You know what to do.
Yeah, I'm thinking, Mike,
Because
would you like
it's
to,
only one pedal off, because there's only not both pedals off, because you're not using it back on again.
Would you think it would be easy to read if I did all right pedals up here and all left pedals down here? Except for obviously where it says separate.
Yes, you know how Crumb did not, he puts on two different levels. Like
Yeah.
pedal 1 is like here, and pedal 2 is
Okay.
underneath.
Okay.
So,
So they're both at the front.
yeah, but you can put pedal 2 at doing sempre, so
Yeah.
you don't even have to indicate it
Yeah, just
anymore.
for here.
Just at the very end, you have to indicate it, but, you know, that's why you just put sempre, and you don't have to bother writing it.
Thank you so
I
much.
think he saved your life, huh?
That was so cool.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
good.
like
Both of you did really well.
That's
Yeah.
this.
I'm a great
perfect.
it's amazing to me how standardized, like with Chrome, like certain things just get standardized with certain composers.
Yeah.
It just becomes what you do, especially when you mention the pedals, even the numbers for the pedals. Like,
Yeah.
it happens with Chrome.
Yeah, and Crumb's use of this kind of pedal with the clutch
I
is
need to go get
very
some scores.
complicated. If you look at the 5 pieces for piano, my God, the working on the feet, you know, is really complex, and the piano has to be in tip-top condition with a little bit of it's just a disaster. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So, any questions? But basically, I think.
Yeah, just gotta work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. It's
I love the description. I'm totally putting weaving in the score now at that point.
Yeah, it's like that, you know, in Baroque music, it's called the lacrimosa motif,
Yeah.
the lament. You know, in Bach you have these sighs, the two notes slur the slides, da dum, dee da, dee dum. You know that's the lacrimosa motif, and you have that in there. You know, it's just part of the genetic makeup. It just comes from all of your bodies, and so just as a performer, you
Well, that was my favorite part of what you did with the clusters there.
Yeah.
I would love to learn how to do that to even,
Yeah, and this thing
higher
about
levels.
smoothing, you know, this thing about freeing the wrist, it makes
So
the
elegant.
sound
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
You come to my concert, won't you?
Yeah. On some
Watch how I
Sunday at
play.
what time?
7. Because everything I do is choreographed.
right.
All my Sunday at 7. All my movement is worked out within this what I call realistic choreography.
That's cool, I never would have thought of it like that.
Because on the piano, let me tell you, just this whilst you're getting ready, there's only 3 things you can do. You can go across the keyboard,
Mhm.
okay? You can go up and down. And the third thing is you can move in and out of the keys, which most people don't realize.
Right.
But that's a much more smaller, limited motion as opposed to this, and this. You know? So what I do in my choreography is basically a combination of these 3 basic movements integrated. And then I work out the gestures of how the hands interlock and everything. And then it becomes part of the body
Yeah.
reflex. And then I never have to practice it once I've got it.
How long did it take before you got comfortable with that?
I'm constantly refining my choreography.
Okay.
Constantly.
Okay.
But there's no such thing as difficult passage. It's only because I haven't figured out the choreography.
Right.
Once I've figured out the logistics of movement, which is all I do, it's not difficult anymore.
Okay. That's an interesting way to look at
And
it.
it's
Yeah.
really interesting when you refer to it as choreography. I think it's quite an appropriate term
Yeah.
to use for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the playing takes on a whole 3-dimensional aspect because you're moving through space and you're using 3-dimensional space instead of just 2-dimensional. Yeah, Okay,
Right.
okay, you're gonna do. You want to stick around or you leave?
I'm
Stick
still.
around.
Okay, all right. I play Havanas,
I'm
and
still working this out.
right. The sooner you get this memorized, the better. Or you know what? Ideally, you should do is when you get it. Hang on. Is to is to play it without the music standing in, but laying the music flat inside so you can reach the strings without any problem. You know it well enough to play it flat? Okay, but this is what I mean, is the music desk is completely out. Let me show you. And you can do this as part of a concert and everything, you know, but you just take this out, set it over there. You have the mallets here ready. See? The mallets like this. Is this the right mallet or the
Yeah,
other mallet?
that's typically my lunch. That's the word.
Okay, well, you have to place them in position for where you want them. And then and I always have to sit high enough, otherwise I can't reach them there. So I'm doing my own extra seating, because I didn't even look at the bench in that hall. You know, for the-
There is an adjustable one.
Is there one? Good. Oh, there is one. Okay, good. Because very often I don't get to sit high enough.
I know there's one somewhere at the school.
Right. So this way you play like this, and then you have access to the inside of the piano. Okay? So try and do it like this. Get used to practicing like this. All right. I'll let you play the whole piece through first, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Place your mallets where you want them for optimum grabbing for each hand. But you see why I told you.
Yeah.
The other place you could possibly put it also, if your eyesight is good enough, is you have to mount it on cardboard to stand up. Just to put
But I see what you mean by though, when you like, it would be better if you memorize it much.
No, you know, I'm the world's expert on playing inside the piano. Yeah, I'm called the diva of the avant-garde piano, right in New York. Now, if you want to play this kind of music inside the piano, you really have a commitment to memorize it because it's impossible to look at the score and find where you have to pluck the strings or play. This is relatively easy, this piece, because you're just thumping away on the bass melody. You don't really have to be that accurate or anything. But like with Crumb, it's very specific. You have to know exactly which strings you're plucking. There's no time to look at the score, you know. So but even with this, you would make life a lot easier for yourself if you could gradually, get it to your system and memorize it. And then you can have the score here just as a rough guide to keep an eye on things. But you can either mount it on card or just stick it with glue tack in the back. That stuff that comes off all the time. Yeah. And then this way it's really out of your way. But you have to know it pretty well to play from this distance. All right? Right. Now, I'll just say a few words about Hovannes because most of you have never heard of Alan Hovannes. Alan Hovannes is an American composer of Armenian descent. He died about 10 years ago in about 90. He was very, very, I knew him, I knew him quite well in the 80s. And he lived in Seattle. And he had a great interest in Asian music. He studied in depth Japanese and Korean and Indian music. And he incorporated elements of this music into his writing. So you have this in a way, you have all these like melismas. It comes from all these decorative patterns that you find in Asian music. It's like in Indian music. And also his music is basically melodic without any very little harmonic support because you have this going on. But basically it's a melodic line you're playing with, it's all decoration on the melody. And then in the end, he has this wonderful contrapunto, very pure, almost feel like writing, like going back to Baroque. And it's almost like, I can prove I can write that stuff if I want to. And it's very, very pure. And also modal. His music tends to be less tonal but more modal because he's influenced by the modal structures of Asian music. So there's something always rather exotic about his writing. And he was very, very bountiful. He wrote and he wrote and he wrote. And he wrote, I don't know, by the time he died he had like over 1,000 works. But he was a very, in a way, some of his works, the qualities aren't even, some of it is better than others. But when you write that much, and you're not into self-editing, then that's what happens. But he really had a prolific output. And he lived in Seattle, and then when Mount Helena exploded, he wrote a symphony, and called it was a symphony tribute to Mount Helena. So he has written several pieces for piano, many pieces for piano. And a lot of them incorporate this Asian kind of monodic style, and then you have the bass support provided by these mallets, you see? So I'm going to work with you with this piece as much as I can in the time that we have, but maybe I could just give you some general principles that you can sort out and apply to the rest of the piece and to the rest of your piano playing, as it goes. But let's start. Let's start from. Okay, let's do the prelude, the opening. Okay, can you do that again? Now, you're going to be standing up later on. See, for me, because I'm not as tall as you, I will do the whole piece standing up. But if you want, because you're so tall, your arms are long enough, you can do it. Then you can do it sitting down, but then you stand up. Whatever's coming.
Okay.
Yeah. I like standing up, you know why? Also, the thing about standing up is your whole body weight is balanced inside the instrument. But then when you play like this, it's okay, but your weight is not there, so it affects the quality of the sound. It really does. So when you're this way, your body weight is in, you get a more substantial, richer quality to the sound. You know? So I would suggest standing up. Then you have to keep your foot. This is the one thing about playing inside the piano that it's very hard on the body because when you press on the pedal and you're leaning inside, you're hyperextending the back of your leg, and then in your back, and I mean, these pieces don't come with insurance. They don't come with chiropractic built in. So it's not. I developed a Baker's cyst at the back of my knee from doing so much of this work. You know that it flares up every time I do a lot of this stuff so sometimes I wedge the pedal. I just use a triangular shaped metal wooden wedge, and I wedge it. I press the pedal down and insert it from the back, and if I'm practicing for long stretches, so I can just give my leg a break. But you can't always do that because something you need for the sighting purposes wherever you are, you have to be anchored on that. Than if you're just standing over at the end. But for something like this, you can practice this opening part with pedal wedge to save your leg. Okay? All right. So go ahead and start. Okay. Now to give more clap. See, this you want to catch your audience's attention. So when you start going. Okay, this is another. You need another. See what I did? It comes to life. What I did? Yeah, it's that same thing. You know? It makes the sound come alive. Okay. That's it. And there's pauses, so to give it a chance to resonate. Now I'm going to ask you to do something else. Listen in, the spaces between the notes are as important as the notes themselves in this kind of music, especially in crown and all that. I'm serious, because if you don't listen through the span of the silence or the resonance, it affects the way you play the next note. So I want you to listen to the resonance, and then the next note will be played in a way that makes sense in conjunction with the first note. Listen. That's it. See, that's already different. You see, now you're listening. You see, sound is three-dimensional. Sound is alive. You know, silence is as important as sound. Silence is as living as sound, a presence as sound. Okay, so let's go again and then go on. Yes, do that. Out of that, this emerges. This mallet very hard. Okay, you see.
I mean, he says more harder with mallet. So.
Oh, it is a rock mallet. Okay, then I just continue. Then this has to come out of this. I want to be very soft. It's very hard, right? Very softly so that it comes out of the resonance from the previous note, but my control wasn't very good. Okay, but if I practice it, I would get it. Good. Good. Now listen. Now go slow and then faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Slow down. again. That's good. Very nice.
Oh,
I
that's
lost the
over.
bass. Never mind, just make some noise over there. Listen long. You have to listen long enough till you know this is going to be heard out of that. Nice. And then again on the bass. Beautiful beginning. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Pause. Now. Wrong one. This is this one. This one. No, it's this one. Oh, it's this one. Sorry. Beautiful beginnings. Excellent. Nice. Very good. And then, is this it?
Oh, no, this is breaking down.
Oh, this is telling me what to. You play that beautifully.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. You know, and
Starts, yeah.
excellent. I mean, it's like, you know what's become, the sound is now alive. It's become living, and it's taken on a three-dimensional quality to it. It's sound in the round, and it's not just, I'm just doing it. You know, you're living it, and the sound is alive. And your whole body, from your foot that's connected to the pedal to your fingertips that's controlling the mallets, is just one unbroken flow of energy.
It actually kind of reminds me, because I play the bass drum,
Yeah.
but the crown, it's the easiest part in terms of technically, because all you're doing is rolling, but having the ability to perfectly set that atmosphere
That's
for the flute to come in.
Yes.
At one point, there was like a quadruple forte, and you hit that, and then you hit 13 seconds of deep crescendo. And to just be able to slowly release the tension, like hold into the tension as long as possible before letting it.
Yes, that's classic crumbs. Okay, that was excellent. That was excellent. Okay, now let's go on to the next part because it gets.
This is
Okay.
the only part I was confused about, just trying to learn it, was does the pulse matter?
No.
Okay.
Just keep going. There's no interlocking.
Okay.
Don't get academic about that. Okay? So that was excellent. So do from here on. So. Is your back bad? You do it for 20 years like me. You see, you can still walk upright. Okay, so now, so this somebody can even keep doing it for you now. You guys can come up and volunteer to do this. But in a while I'll get you to do that. Because now I want to focus on the right hand, okay? Now, the right hand, this is not metrical, there's no bar lines, you know, so it's like vegetative. It's just continuous, you know, it's just a flow, there's no bar lines, it's not metrical. So it's like he's writing out an improvisation for you. And all you have to do is something that we're going to do. That's one phrase, okay. You know, it's like almost like the call to worship or something. There's something very Middle Eastern about it. But so, you know, I want you to play this as if you're speaking. So the pedal is on the whole time. another phrase starts, okay? So I want you to think in sentences. This is one phrase through to here, okay? And this is another phrase through to here. So everything within that, you have to listen through and connect. And not just say, don't go out for coffee break, come back with another 2 notes. You have to feel this pulling all the way through, okay? You try now. One of you go boom, 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 boom for me. I don't want you to bother with the left hand because you can always.
Is it just a study?
Yeah, you can do it even with your palm, it doesn't really matter what you use, you know. I actually, I prefer it with, no? Yeah, just do the lower strings, that's right, yeah. Just, now make it speak. Okay, and count. Even though there's no rhythm, you sort of count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know? That's it. Wait, now pause. Start a new sentence. And then hit it just release. Okay. Yes, and now here this, you see, so this expands a little bit. I would let it expand up and watch my hand. See what I shape it. And I start slower. You see? It speaks. So do it a little bit slower and get the shaping, okay? I want to teach you to shape. By shaping, you have to free your wrist, play. Let your wrist follow you around. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3. That's it. See? Da 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 da. Beautiful. Da 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 da. Again, scoop, right? That's right. And this is my symbol for scoop. It looks like this. I made it up. Okay, and I'm going to do that too. So, yeah, that just means that's it. That's it. Ta-da. That's it. And then da-da-da, the new phrase. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. So this again, the new phrase then starts here, right? And it's going to go to where, you tell me. Where's this one go to? Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Yeah. And then another one. Da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Okay? All right. And you play with a certain kind of rubato. You know, he cannot actually notate the freedom in it. You just have to feel it. And you go a little bit ahead, you rob the time, and you give it back. You know, it's not metrical. Da 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 da. You reserve that for the end when the feel comes. Okay?
I know you feel this. It brings up.
Yeah. So what's
Anyway, I'm start maybe the next one. That's it. Wait. Yeah. And again, that's it. The more you have the shaping worked out, the more clarity you will have in your sound. Otherwise, it just sounds like a bunch of notes, you know, kind of all mushed together. See? You see? Did you watch my hand? So, shape is the wrist follows with a circle. You see? like this teamwork. Nice. Da-da-da. Da-da. How passionate he is. It's like, it calls out like a scream in the night. Da-da. That's it. Da-da. That's it. And even more, this is like. That's it. And then start slower and then That's it. That's it. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. That might be that.
No, that's you.
Okay, let me just say something. You know these taram, baram, it's like throwing a stone into the water, and you have these concentric little rings that come up.
Ripples?
Yeah. But you know they get smaller and smaller. It's all the whole piece is like that. You see, if you look at it. It's just like that kind of effect. Think of that in your mind, of these ripples in the pond. This is the way you throw the stone, and then this is all the repercussions. Throw another stone, and this is all the repercussions. Okay? Right. And then. So, watch my hand. Alright, do it from anywhere, it doesn't matter. And a little bit more tone. That's it. That's it. Yes, it's those ripples, if I could. Okay. So. Now the pedal doesn't come off to here.
No, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
I happened to sit down and I was my body's feeling all the tension.
All right. Can you just do that a bit more on the bass? Very nice. Very good. And then now pure, pristine. You know what this is like? You have all this mysterious stuff, and then this emerges in such purity. It's like the voices of angels. All of a sudden, you have this incredible baroque kind of purity. So you've got to set the mood up. Da da dum, ya da da dum. Now take off the pedal for me. If this emerges out of it with, you know, it's really pure. It's like the voices of angels. But the pedal comes off, you see, and then you have this wonderful purity. But you must set it up from here. And then pure now. See, it emerges out of it with great clarity, okay? So you are going to go from standing up to sitting down, are you? So let's see how you're going to make that transition. Let's see. Now that's what you're not, so you can gradually sit down. Don't just, what is this?
Plunk.
Yeah, don't just sit
Sorry,
control
sorry,
way,
I'm
don't
so
just
far.
clap. Sit in a control way and then pedal off. See, you have plenty of time to make the transition.
Okay.
Okay. You want to try it yourself from there and make that transition. I think this needs to be far back. Okay. That's beautiful. Good. Beautiful.
Oh, sorry.
Right. Now look, you need to know that you need to know the rest of it better. You know, you don't really know this part very well yet. So but keep this kind of, and don't smush it up with pedal everywhere. I mean, use the pedal very judiciously in here, you know, but I wouldn't just hold the foot down the whole way like you did for the rest of the piece, because it's not. It's a different kind of texture here. You want this clarity, so you touch the pedal, when you need it to connect, but don't, keep it on all that, and play with this very pristine kind of sound. And look how pure, and so incredibly pure. The end, is just. That's almost like Gregorian chant. I mean, it's modal. It's. He loves this kind of open, medieval kind of sound. So it's very beautiful, this piece. Yeah, and then there's this wonderful cadence here that. Yeah, isn't it?
And it goes like
Wow. Wow. What a surprise, So it's a beautiful piece,
Are there parts where you're doing a lot of the wrist motion? Are there parts where you want to just play very straight? Because
Yes, you do.
I love it.
Yeah, but depending on what
It's going to.
but for the kind of writing we've had today, it's been appropriate
To the point,
play
like,
sometimes.
No, no.
Yeah, right.
Not all the
F
time.
sharp.
I just think for the different parts of the house, we want to be more mobile to.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, that's
It's nice
true.
when you do it. Like this, even when you combine it with the 9, it's just talking about the chord.
Oh, yeah, but that's just like a ray of light that just opened up. Okay, so I let you work on. You need to learn the notes better on this part. But what time is it now?
Right now we are at 6:25.
Okay, so we're 5 minutes to wind things down. Any questions, anybody? You made wonderful progress. Your whole playing, your whole feeling for the piece just became something on a different level of awareness, and your body and everything was so much more integrated with it. Very good. Okay.
Well, I know.
My brain was working.
I
I know, I give a lot of information. It just take a while to sort it out. Let it filter through slowly.
One question I just had for you was about memorization. You mentioned, because a lot of, when you deal with music like 20th century music, a lot of that, it's just like the only music that I find is like acceptable to use the music for, like even in a concert situation. Now, when you say you're memorizing this, do you have any specific techniques to memorize something where?
You see, with something like this, it's very easy to memorize because it's so melodic.
Okay.
It's totally melodic, so you just, you just follow the sound. Yeah. I would say that with a lot of stuff inside the piano, I find it extremely easy to memorize because it involves the entire body. The physicality of your whole body is involved. It's not just sitting at the piano, or even when you're just sitting at the piano, your whole physicality is involved. If you're really alert and with it, and you're not just like playing like that. But when you play inside the piano, everything is so much more exaggerated. Your gestures, you have to organize it to when you sit, when you play, and when you. So after a while, the body begins to develop its own physical memory of where to go. So I found it extremely easy to play inside the piano by memory because my body never forgets. My mind can forget. It's like but it's a question of drilling and drilling and more drilling, of the reflexes.
It's like developing muscle memory.
Yes, but a muscle memory that's so present because even on the keyboard you develop muscle memory. But this, your whole body involved. It's like dance. It's like choreography. So even if my mind forgets, my body doesn't forget.
How about in regards to, well, this is still in regards to the performance part of it, with like relaxation and feeling comfortable.
You never
performing
relax.
pieces?
You're always in a perpetual state of balance. If you relax, you must go in a nap. You know. When you play, you're never relaxed. You're poised in a state of eternal equilibrium the whole time you're playing. You know, and that's the thing to remember. You're not tense, but you're not relaxed. You are poised in balance. The body is in a state of, how can I call it?
I like the equilibrium term. I thought that was very
Yeah,
appropriate.
it is.
Like, almost like a yin yang.
Yeah, it's because whenever you're playing, whether you're just sitting at the piano and playing, you know, first of all, your body is how you sit is very important. Like your back is straight and slightly angled, because you have to keep this open, because this is your solar plexus, this is where your chi energy comes. This is where you feel the music. And if this is open, it can flow. If I've immediately lost it, I've relaxed myself. I'm relaxed now. You know, I've talked, but this is, I'm poised now. I'm poised now in a state of equilibrium. And I'm balanced and I can play and my body is awake and it's alert, you know. And this combined with the breathing, because I also breathe when I play like a singer. I organize when I breathe. And the breath is an incredible source of energy. It helps you play better if you breathe in the right place. You know, it's a great help to movement when you breathe and release your breath with the phrase. So I think everything about that I'm saying to you has to do with being organic. That everything you do at your instrument, no matter what instrument you play, has to do with minimum effort, maximum result, and the coordination is, if something feels right in the way you move and it works, nobody can tell you it's wrong. There's something about moving correctly in the choreography, and it may take you a while to hit it right. It's like doing puzzles, you know. And when you hit it, you know that's the right one because it works, and it's reliable, and it's easy. So that's the criterion, and nobody can tell you it's wrong because it feels so damn right. So these are just like general pointers I'm giving you about how I work and how I think, and to me, practicing is a very concrete, no-nonsense process. When I sit down, I work out choreography, I work out fingering, and I should get up after a practice session. The piece should have gotten along further than, and then the next day builds on what was done the day before. So it's built in layers, you know. And if you have trouble with the fingering, stop and examine if you've got the right fingering. Because if you've got a fingering that's not the best, ideal fingering, not the right fingering for a passage, you can practice it and practice it till the cows come home, and it's still never going to feel right, and it's always going to give you trouble in performance because then the nerves will fall apart, I can guarantee. You know? And the interesting thing is you learn more from a bad performance than you do from a good performance. And if something doesn't work in a performance, I mean, yes, you can go beat yourself on the head for a little while, but after a while, that's a waste of time. It's very creative because then you begin to think about why it didn't work. And then you analyze why it fell apart. And then you fix it. And then that performance really did you a service because you figured out how to rework that passage that you know, did you in. And then hopefully the next time it'll be there. You know, and everything is a learning process. Even the performance is a learning process, and you learn more from a bad performance than a good one. I mean, we need good ones just to reassure ourselves that we're on the right track. But everything has to be done in a logical and organic way when you work. That's the process. And it is a process because it unfolds. And there is no such thing as perfection, because when you think you've gotten there, there'll always, as you get to the top of the mountain, there are also a lot more mountain peaks higher and ahead of you. That's where there is no such thing as perfection. And all I do is I constantly refine and refine and refine. Even a piece I've been playing for 10 years, if I take a break from it for a few months or something, I'll be playing other stuff, I'll come back to it, and I'll begin to have all kinds of new insights into it. But that's because of the distancing from it, but also because my body is in a different place, my perceptions are in a different place than where I left it last. So you see, one constantly keeps growing. It's an interesting, I find it a very fascinating process. Yeah.
It's very important, valuable.
Sorry?
It's a very important, valuable to when you go out, when you're working on like playing the piano for a really long time, and you grow a lot as a person when you've been practicing.
Yes, and everything, it's part of this whole Asian thing, which is process is more important than the goal, than reaching the goal. So all these things are the unfolding of the process. And I love the saying by Beckett, fail again, fail better. And that's what it's really all about. If we can get beyond our egos, we can learn an awful lot from failure. Come and watch me fail. Something night.
So thank you very much. And I hope everybody will be at her concert. It's in the Cultural Center Theater.
Oh, it's not here.
No, it's not. It's in the Cultural Center Theater.
Okay.
It's in the same building as the library, across from the library.
Yeah, I know the drive.
Yeah, it is across from the library. And it's 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay, cool.